I basically learned Symphony of the Symphony of Destruction solo from tablature. Marty Friedman had a column before, and then that was one solo that he showed how to do. And even with all the notes, laid out like that, it still took some time for me to get. I guess not so much because of the technique involved, although you really need to get some a bit of chops. You still have to sort of figure out for yourself how to the fingering that's convenient for you, and you'll also have to hear for yourself the accentuation of the notes, which I'm going to show you later. So it starts off with a long E. It also comes, it's like skin on my teeth. It comes sort of delayed after the solo riff begins. So it's like, so the E that you play here is you bend it at the same time you play the E on the D string, and then be careful here when playing, because I noticed the tendency of players is to they sort of add the D note, which is okay, but that's not how Morty usually does it. And then this part, you're gonna have to have your technique worked out a bit. So this is actually something that Marty wasn't doing in the previous album, Rust in Peace. Rust in Peace is considered the album with its best solos, but for me, it comes down to Countdown to Extinction and Euthanasia. Partly because his technique had really developed in order to suit the songs that he was playing for. They're just his solos in Euthanasia and Countdown are much better crafted than the ones in Rust in Peace. As much as I love the solo in, say, Tornado of Souls or Lucretia or whatever, Marty just developed his sense of what's right for the song, as you could hear in Countdown and Euthanasia. And so, but this thing isn't about his developing taste for songwriting or whatever. This has more to do with changing his technique somewhat, because in the previous album you'd hear him doing this a lot. That technique of playing an upstroke and then downstroke for. But this is a sort of a variation on that, wherein you do play a downstroke for this, but you also have to take care not to instead it's so no hammer-ons, no pull-ups. It's just okay. So the approach to playing this fast part of Symphony of Destruction, this burst of speed, is you sort of have to know what notes to accentuate, what notes to give a little bit of oomph or whatever. So you start off with, and then you do the same thing here in this A minor arpeggio. See the fingering there? So that's the second half of this lick. Sorry, that's the first half of this lick. And then the second half, you slide this up as well. the notes that you accentuate are this and this. So let's do the second half again. By the way, what Marty does is he plays the C note here, which is so difficult for me. I mean, considering how fast a lick is, and then you find time to bar it. No, what I do is I slide it instead, which has its own, you know, it's Marty-ish in a way also anyway. Yeah, so you're gonna see the movement of my head, which indicates where to accentuate. Okay, I'm gonna do it slow again this time. Okay, and then this one is sort of new also with Marty, where he does this thing again, which is found a lot in Rust in Peace, but he also does sort of a more moderate technique, which is it's actually, I think a while ago I was doing it. Come to think of it, you can actually do it, but you know, I guess on the record he does it. But you could easily just as well, you know, ironically, it's actually easier to do. And then this part, it's basically a G major arpeggio going up. And then down here. That's the only variation where instead of doing this, you do this. So, and then another G major thing, and then okay, the next part you're gonna have to. It's basically a blues shape, except with the addition of a minor sixth. So you divide it into 3 parts. This is the first part. And then the second part goes. So you know there's an additional note, this high E. And then the last part. Then the last part, just do a bluesy thing. Even Marty in this, you know, live, he barely does it like. Even I'm not used to playing that anymore. And I think even Marty was planning to change it in the studio, but Max Norman or whoever just told him just to keep it that way. But just do some bluesy thing to end it. Marty, yeah, he fiddles around that part like so. Something like that. Or something. But you know, you want to stay traditional, just do